Hello everyone, Miss Mayorga. We are going to be doing today lesson 15 in Code Studio Unit 3, which is about keyboard input. So we have finally started to get into moving sprites on our screen. In the last one, we worked with conditionals and we learned how to change the animation of sprites. That was my example. But in this screen, we're going to learn, in this lesson, we're going to learn how to move our sprites using keyboard input, meaning the arrows or recognizing any key letters that you press. When you press a key on your keyboard, something happens, right? So in the video, when I pressed up, down, left, right, the butterfly moved up, down, left, right. So we're going to learn how to do that. Our central question for this lesson is, how can our programs react to user input? And our learning objectives are: use conditionals to react to keyboard input, move sprites in response to keyboard input. For this activity, for this lesson, we will complete bubbles 1 through 7. In bubble 6, you will complete activity B and C. Activity A is optional. And bubble 7, this will be graded. All right, bubble 8 is an optional challenge. So let's go ahead and get started. Lesson 15. Bubble 1 is just the overview. Let's go ahead and continue. Bubble 2, prediction, key down. See if you can predict how the key down block works. You will not write any code. Do this. Read the program carefully. Make a prediction about what will happen when you press the space bar and write it in the box below. Be specific. Run the program. While the program is running, press the space bar on your keyboard. Were you correct? Were you surprised? Okay. So here is our code, our draw loop. The background is going to be white. And text align center, so it's going to be right in the center. Text size 100 and text key down space located at 200, 200. So right here in the center. So what do you think is going to happen? Might be hard. It's okay. Make your prediction and then click run. Let's see. Right now it says false. I'm going to go ahead and press the space bar. I'm going to let go. I'm going to press the space bar again. I'm going to let go. So what do you notice is happening? When the space bar goes down, key down, right? Key down, it says true. When the space bar is not down, it says false. Right? So the computer is detecting when we're pushing a button. In this case, it's detecting when the space bar is pressed. And it's reacting to that. Okay, go ahead and click finish. Bubble number 3. Changing sprites. This program uses the key down block to detect whether specific keys are being pressed. Sorry. I hope you can't hear me drink water. You might. This program uses the key down block to detect whether specific keys are being pressed. Do this. Run the program and try to press the P and H keys. Look inside the if statement to see how the code works. Add a block inside the third if statement to change the animation to a different animal. Okay, so let's go ahead and run the program. And let's press P and H. I'm going to press P again and H. So what happens? P and H. What's happening? It's changing animations as we do this. So let's see the code. If key down H, so if the computer detects that the H key went down, H, it's going to set the animation of the sprite to hippo. If P, the letter P is down, then it's going to set the animation of the sprite to pig. P, H, P, H. Our final task here is to change the animation when we press the R button. All right, so same pattern. We need our sprite.set animation block. The sprite is called Sprite, so we can just leave it like that. And this time, I think it starts off as a giraffe. Yeah, so it starts off as a giraffe. Let's make that one a rabbit. So it'll start off as a giraffe, and we can press H, and that changes to a hippo. If we press P, it should change to a pig, and if we press R, it should change to a rabbit. Right. Hippo, pig, rabbit. Right, I'm just pressing the keys on my keyboard. You can't see it, but H, P, R. And there we go. We have just made the computer react to one of the keys being pressed, right? It gave us a response. Let's go ahead and click finish. Bubble 4. Moving sprites. You can change your sprite's position based on key presses in the same way you changed its animations. Do this. Add an if statement inside your draw loop. Check whether the right arrow has been pressed down. Add code inside the conditional to move the sprite to the right if the arrow is down. So question to consider, do you need to change the sprite's X or Y property when you're moving to the right? So if we're moving to the right, which coordinate is changing? The X. Yeah, the X coordinate. Right and left, that has to do with X coordinate. Up, down has to do with Y coordinate. So here we want to ask the computer if the right arrow is pressed. So we need our conditional if. And we go to world, key down, code. And we're looking specifically for the right arrow. So drop down menu and click right. So if the right arrow is down, key down, right, then move the bug to the right. So that goes back to one of our previous lessons when we have things move to the right or to the left. Right, moving to the right is this structure of code right here. Sprite.x gets sprite.x plus 10. Moving to the right. So we need that same thing. Our sprite is called bug. So sprite.x, which is bug, gets sprite.x plus a value. So bug, oh, sorry, you can type it or you can drop the sprite.x again. I just like to type it sometimes. Bug.x plus 1. So once the right arrow is pressed, then this is going to happen. It's going to move to the right. Let's go ahead and try it. Run your program. And I'm going to press my right arrow key. And I'm going to let go. I'm going to press it again. And let go. And there we go. We have our ladybug moving to the right. And you can kind of think about how you would move something to the left, how you would move something up or down. And we're actually going to do that a little bit later. Go ahead and click finish. Continue on to bubble 5. Keyboard input. Gears with conditionals. Let's make the gears spin only when the space key is being held down. Do this. Add code that checks whether the space key is being pressed down. Move the code that makes the gears rotate so that they can only rotate when the key is pressed down. Okay, so in our draw loop, remember our if control statement, our if statement has to go in our draw loop. So I'm going to put that right here. If key down space, if the space key is down. So I need key down. And this time I'm checking to see if the space bar is pressed. So if this is pressed, then we want all the gears to move. Now we already have the code that makes the gears move. So all we need to do is move these blocks inside of the if loop or the if statement here. You can move them all at the same time by clicking to the side and highlighting, click and drag and highlight, or you can just move one at a time if you would like to. As long as you move all 3 in here, then you are good. So when the space bar is pressed down, then the blue gear is going to rotate, the green gear is going to rotate, and the red gear is going to rotate. Otherwise, it should say they shouldn't move. All right, I'm clicking run. Nothing is moving. I'm going to press the space bar, and I'm going to let go. Press the space bar, and let go. All right, there we go. Go ahead and click finish. Continue on to bubble 6. So for bubble 6, I am having you focus on activity B and C. I will go over A in case you would like to do it, but I'm going to start with B and C. All right, debug turtle movement. Debug turtle movement. This program breaks every time it tries to move to the left. What I expect to happen, the turtle moves to the left. What actually happens, everything stops working. How to reproduce the arrow key by pressing the left arrow key. Okay, run the program and play with it until you see the bug. Use the clues to find the bug and fix it. So it looks like the issue is the left arrow key. Let's go ahead and try the other keys. Up, down, that seems to work. Right, and then left. I'm pressing left and nothing is happening. And now nothing else works. I'm pressing all my other arrow keys and nothing else works. Let's take a look at the code and see if you can find what the issue is with the left if statement. So if key down left, what is going on here that's causing the error? Yeah, so you might have picked up on it right here. It just says turtle, but it doesn't say what property, right? This is turtle.y because we want to move up. Up and down have to do with the y coordinate, right? Turtle.y, turtle.y. Left and right have to do with the x coordinate. So here we're missing an x. You can actually just type it in, put dot x. And then if you click away, it'll convert it into a block automatically. So again, all we need to do is in the key down left if block, here it should say turtle dot x, period x, and just click away and it'll turn it in. Now I should move up, down, right, left. The turtle can move any direction. And I'm just clicking random keys. Up, down, right, left. All right, finish, continue. Debug turtle movement number 2. Debug turtle movement number 2. Debug why the turtle does not move at all. What I expected to happen, the turtle moves with the arrow keys. The turtle, what actually happened, the turtle almost stays in the same place and leaves after images. How to reproduce the error, press the arrow keys. Run the program and play with it until you see the bug. Use the clues to find the bug and fix it. Okay, let's go ahead and run the program. I'm pressing the up arrow. So it's like jolting up. Down arrow, left arrow, right arrow, left arrow. So you see all those little like turtles behind. It's kind of hard to see now, but if I press up, there's like an underlayer. So what is happening? Let's take a look at our code. We have our draw loop and all of our coding blocks are inside the draw loop. Let's check our if statements. Is there anything wrong with those? If up, turtle.y, turtle.y minus 3. Nope. These all have their property .y, .y, .x, .x. Draw sprite should go in the draw loop. What is wrong? Hopefully you said something about these blocks right here. Right, when we create a sprite, set the animation and scale, that needs to be done outside of the loop because we only need to do that one time. So I'm going to go ahead and take these 3 blocks and I'm going to move them to the top of the, not to the top, but right outside the draw loop. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and grab those and move them right outside of the draw loop. You can move them one at a time or all together. Then we have our draw loop, right? So let's go ahead and run the program and now our turtle moves correctly. Yay. All right, finish, continue. Okay, fish with arrows, activity A. Again, this one is optional, but I'm gonna go over it. We want to make, these are the fish that you worked with in a previous lesson. I forgot which lesson it was, but these are the fish you worked with in a previous lesson. And here it's asking you, can you make the fish move left only when the left arrow key is pressed down? Add an if statement to check when the left arrow key is pressed down. Move the commands to move the fish, for the moving fish inside the if statement. So go ahead and pause my video, try it yourself, and then come back. All right, welcome back. So hopefully you added an if statement, right? We need to check if the left arrow key is pressed down. So left arrow key. Then we want the fish to move. So we want to move all these blocks inside. Pressing the left arrow key, and now they move. All right, I'm going to pause the video here because I'm running out of time. I will see you in part 2.